sent an email. So, I guess I could turn this. Let's see if this will work. Look at the ceiling of our house. Okay. Great.
Hi.
Oh, yeah.
You.
Good. Still bumping.
We're the only ones here right now, so.
No problem. You can clear this. Just ran in the door. We did cooking demo this morning. I still have all my hair on.
Oh, fun. That's my usual.
It was fun, but yeah, excited to have collards again for dinner, but they're good.
Were you able to the Google Drive or the handouts for today?
Yep, yeah. I read through them and have so hopefully I have what we need.
We have, I think Brendan will be joining us, and then someone I think will be me in person. I hope she can find me. Kind of campus.
Yeah, Virginia Tech is beautiful. It's big.
I know, and it's like all made out of the same rock, so it all looks the same.
How's the training last Friday? It looks like.
Oh, I think it went well, but I'm biased.
Well, it sounds really cool, so I'm glad there's a few of us doing it today, so that will be nice.
Yeah, I think it'll be good. I look forward. I think I can get everything done in just a few hours.
Do our best. You were usually working late on Fridays because we all have markets on Saturdays, so you need to go home. Hopefully you don't have to do anything tomorrow.
No, I don't. Thank God. Great. Please started. I'll probably mute you. You can unmute yourself, I think.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I think we can, but yeah, so you don't hear all the noise.
I'm trying to get this signal, like, I don't know. Not really working. There we go. All right. I'll just give her a few more minutes if that's okay with you.
Yeah, no rush. Keep chatting on some other stuff.
I'll get till 3.
I know. Sitting here, market map for tomorrow, just trying to wrap
Oh,
my
yeah.
head around what tomorrow's gonna be. Called out on Friday afternoon. I should turn it on. Can't come.
Like the crap out of me. I'm like, you must see my whole outfit.
Much more stylish than clothes is what I saw on. I should have changed, but yeah, at a time. So
No.
we're up after and change later.
Hi. Are you Kelly? Yes. I'm Meredith. Nice to see you too. Come on out. Sit right here. This is Mary Skyping in with us. Hello. These are you. Do you need water or anything? Okay. Cool. Sorry, I know it's a pain to find things around here.
Parking was hard.
Yeah. Where you get like a... Okay, there you go. You might pick it, but that's not what I want you to get. Alright. Do it. Okay. Today we're just going to go over just how the course is going to run and then the role of a market manager. So I want an overview of VASMA. We started basically after a group of market managers really wanted to get together and network, and that's kind of the backbone of the class as well. I really want you all to have someone to go to when you have an issue, so that's why you have this cohort. So started in, I think 2010 was that group was to get together. They were together by a woman at VDAC and applied for a farmers market promotion program grant, and they received that in 2011, and that to help them kind of launch the official network that turned into VASMA. And that was used to do things like write an ADT manual and start a plan for these annual conferences in 2013. And then, Mary, I'm just going to you, if that's right. Are you just so that we don't have that feedback? Okay. And then basically it used to be called the Virginia Farmers Market Manager Association, and changed that name to better reflect all the stakeholders who actually care about farmers markets. It was me being like, y'all, please put me in your name. So now the Virginia Farmers Market Association. Okay. I also wanted to make sure you knew that we have a regional network going. You have a really strong one in the Blue Ridge area. You don't have one because you're in North Carolina. But if you want to, you could probably get in touch with the South Side area. It's a really weak one for us, but we're headed off the ground. So we have the Blue Ridge, Shenandoah, Capital Region, the Southwest, like Tidewater, Pittsburgh, which is somehow me, and then the Northern Virginia. So these people are really new at their role. It's really new for us. I'm really trying to figure out a way to roll out some trainings through the regional leads. So if you have any ideas for things that aren't covered in the modules, but you think other market managers would love to learn about, which might get them in a room together to have a regional meeting, please let me know. I'm trying to collect those kind of ideas. So just wanted to make sure you had their names and contact information. She hasn't really reached out to anyone in the Blue Ridge, I don't think.
I don't know. I know her personally, so I'm not sure
Okay.
professionally how she.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, when I was at the Salem market, she came and visited. I think she went around and visited right when she started.
Awesome. But I love her. Yeah. Okay. So SMA's mission is really to support the growth and sustainability of a diverse network of community farmers markets through education, collaboration, innovation, and advocacy. So this is our new mission statement that we came up with at our January, and I'm very happy to say actually we did something in the area that we mentioned. So education, last year we launched the pilot of the certification program. Sue will be the second pilot of this. Collaboration, we really started out and formed those regions. We also started to collaborate with the incentive network that's run by the Virginia Fresh Match group. So that is an area of collaboration for us. And as we got a grant with the Farmers Market Coalition on data, gathering data, and then also having tastemakers, so people who write blogs and things like that, getting them to come to your market and actually use those blogs to increase foot traffic in your market. And for advocacy, we work closely with the Virginia Department of Health and the Virginia Department of Agriculture to kind of clear up the hot food need a permit nightmare. So we have a new clarity on that, I'm hoping, and so that will actually also be one of our modules. So yes, we'll have a clarity. But maybe you'll learn something, I don't know. I did want you also to save the date for the annual conference coming up in November. This one will be in Richmond, which is exciting. I am a big fan of Richmond. So November 7th through 9th, 2018. Mark it. I really hope you all enjoy this part. I really choose that part for us. So we even go around to this certification course. I really wanted to give market managers the chance to learn together as a group, especially over an extended period of time. So those conferences are really popular and people love them. But go home, you're like, how do I actually operationalize what I learned over half hour meeting at a conference? So I want a couple of weeks to actually think about how to launch your seasonal year and learn from each other. I also wanted to look to other states. So we are the top 10 number of markets in the state, in the country, but we're the only one in that top 10 without, at least we were the only one without a strong state association. So we're trying to go around at the ones ahead of us and see what are they doing to set themselves apart. And so we saw that the certification, it's done in New York and Michigan, and the excellent associations, so I feel great ideas. Finally, I really also wanted to think about how to professionalize the role of market manager. So a little bit selfish in my job, I actually train market managers on Snap and how to start Snap, and the person leaves and I start over again, you know. And so it's like for a lot of market managers, we want to help you all get what you need so that you can have to advocate for yourself, and then we can advocate as a group for making that a well-paid role with benefits and everything else. That's a long-range goal for the certification program. We really need people to realize just how many skills we'll have, and this is one step towards doing that. For course details, there will be 9 topic modules. Each on Fridays going forward will be online. A 2-hour webinar through the WebEx program. So the week A, week B, week A and week B will each be a different topic, and then week C will be one Q&A session. So after every 2 modules, the following one will be a Q&A session. And I've worked to include a 15-minute introduction to a resource on those topics. So like for those where we covered like SNAP and accounting, the woman from the Food Nutrition Service from the USDA, so the arm of the USDA that approves markets to accept SNAP, she's going to present things. So if there's anything I have to discuss with USDA, she's a really good resource. They're actually really friendly and helpful. So I was like, oh, that's shocking. I wanted you all to meet her. We also have Colleen Woolnick coming from the Farmers Market Coalition. So she's a national expert on data collection at farmers markets. She's helped markets all over the country. So an expert in marketing in general, but she's also an expert in data at farmers markets. So she'll be coming for that. And third is the Virginia Department of Agriculture. So they're new on the markets in the state. She's kind of new in her role. Heather, she'll be attending. And then we'll have the Department of Health coming to the food safety one. So I want you all like a name to call. If it went wrong at your market, you'll at least know their right name. And Q&A sessions, I don't like the tools. It's obviously a lesson. For the Q&A sessions, there's no like presented lesson. So it's really up to you all to come with questions. Also have some resource person have experienced market managers coming too. So a question on whatever that week's topics were, there'll be this resource as well as the experienced market managers, so you can ask how they solve that problem in their market. And you will be asked to provide feedback during and after the course. We were trying to refine it. Like this year, people really had trouble getting to the in-person event, and so I'm sure it's worth it for you all to start with an in-person event and then go online, like where the plan is for this year, if you think all online would work. I started it that way so that you would meet each other and have a cohort, but that's not you. So it's saying we'll be asking you questions like that, and then we get in contact with you a year after the fact as well. So stick to that. So the sessions will all be taking place online using this WebEx program. Again, you can always call in if you can't hear, and it will be recorded. So everything will be dropped into the module for the topic. It'll be like a presentation folder in there. So it'll have both the slides and the recorded presentation. So you could either look through the slides or watch the recording. Each will have a short quiz emailed out to you all by helper Bailey. And they'll be from SurveyMonkey, so look for those emails. I've one already, I think. And each will also has a homework assignment. And so having trouble with the assignments, just let me know and we can work on them together. And the tools to help put in concrete action what you're learning each topic. Is housed on Google Docs. Have you all been able to get into the Google folder? Have you clicked in there yet?
I don't have.
Okay.
I've been Google Docs plenty though.
Yeah. Okay, good. Well, let me know if you have like what you need to get in there. I think that doesn't mean it's easy. And Mary, you got in there, right? Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna unmute you, Mary, and we can go around and do some introductions. I ask people to share your name, your market name, what type of market you are, like nonprofit, for-profit, municipal, or etc. How long have you been a market manager, and why did you sign up for the course? So do you want to go first?
Sure, yeah. Sorry, I have a space heater because our heater isn't working great. So hopefully it's always something fine. But yeah, my name's Mary Yost. I live in Durham, North Carolina, and I've been managing the Durham Farmers Market since April 2016. I started there when I moved here from Colorado. So I went to college in North Carolina, moved out to Colorado, did AmeriCorps, came back. And Durham Farmers Market's pretty big. We have 65 vendors. We're year-round. We have about 50 vendors in the winter and about all 65 of them in the summer. And then we have a Wednesday market season from mid-April to mid-October. So there's a lot going on at the market. In town Durham and a city park. And so on Saturdays, we close the streets. There's a truck, which is a different market next to us, our market, and then another craft market. So it's a big community festival every weekend, which is really fun. We are a nonprofit with the state. Never filed for tax-exempt status federally. I have no idea why, but we started by the state of North Carolina as a nonprofit. And I finished, of course, after I came to the conference in Roanoke, I was just so impressed by everything y'all are doing. I know I'm trying to mobilize our North Carolina local folks who are market managers and who are involved with markets to get some sort of at least coalition formed and keep moving. So I'm just really excited to see that there's not much support for farmers market staff here. So just trying to see.
And because your extension, your entire focus is local food.
Orange County, I'm in Durham County. Orange County has a much better extension than, so their farmers get a little more love than Durham County. We're just, you know, they do a lot of great things, and their office is like 1 block from our farmers market, which is kind of funny, but it is what it is.
And they say that network for community gardens. Why didn't they have one for markets?
I think they tried one a long time ago, and nobody tried doing it since, but Durham, not our full-time staff members, but I have 30 hours a week, so I have the most out of everybody else in the triangle, so I figured if we learn some, then we can at least be the driving force to start mobilizing people in our area.
Yeah. Happy to come out and help you. Any excuse to come down to Durham. I mean, twist my arm.
I don't know. I thought Roanoke was really fun too, so I love Virginia.
Well, thank you. I'm going to mute you again if that's all right. Okay.
I'm Kelly Key. I work for Leap in Roanoke, and this will be my first time managing markets for them. I was farm manager 2 years ago now. Okay. But I ran a share program last year, taking over Mark too. All of the doing the managing the Grand Market, which is about 15 vendors. Kind of being vendor relations also for the West End market is our year-round weekday market, which is 3 right now, but the main season is probably like 6. So little, yeah. And I'll be overseeing our mobile market. We had 10 stops in the different neighborhoods around Roanoke. Yes.
Yes. Awesome. Thank you. Why did you sign up for the course? Well, you were told to.
Well, Maureen was very like, do this. You know, you should do it.
Yeah.
And I'm from Mount Salem that it is complicated, and it's to like feel confident and like doing the best you can sometimes. Yeah. So I'm about always learning and getting better.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And I'm really excited that there's something very out of this.
I think it'll be fun. I had so much fun last year. Like, I was nerding out. They don't let me manage markets anymore, but I get to protect with you all. Okay, this is from, you don't get lunch, I apologize. This is from when we were in person. But we're going to go over the role of a market manager, identify some leadership values that are important to you. Just going to stages of group growth. You deal with so many different groups in your work. And then I'm going to have you think about a market mission statement for 2018, just kind of like a goal for 2018. I'm going to unmute you again, Mary. I wanted to hear from you both about what a typical market day looks like you, like what tasks that you do during a typical market day. You're kind of, so.
Yeah, so, get there really early, crazy early in the summer to unlock the space, set everything up, mark the street, move barricades. It's a lot of listing before the market even starts at 8 vendors, setting up events, lead for whoever, getting roadkill out of the street, you name it, I do it. But during the market, I get to collect selfies, which is my favorite part because I actually get to check in with vendors, hear how they're doing, hear what ideas they have, what feedback they have. I ask them to save all complaints. Sure, I email follow-up if it's a lengthy conversation because you can't give it the time of day it deserves during market.
Right.
That takes like 2 hours to get around to all 60-something of them and wait for time or whatnot. And then 2 hours usually out on events on the lawn or at the table assisting with SNAP transactions. We have one staff member who just does the info table, so she's always the face of info, but more importantly, always the face of the SNAP program, so that way folks recognize her and understand that she assists them anyway. So I fill in there if people need a break from the info table, which they often do. I bounce around a lot on a typical day, and we clean up and I come home and read a book and don't talk to anybody for
Nice, yes, recharge.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. What about like for a mobile market?
No yet.
Yeah.
I've been to the Grandin market a few times last year to fill in on both Sam and Algon, but this minimal setup are in charge of putting their own tents and tables up that we provide. But most of the dish at the information table, doing SNAP and debit transactions, answering questions, and then our vendors, we hand folks out for reimbursement checks from the week before, and then they put all of their tokens in there and hand it in at the end of market, and we just double that everything they're saying is correct. Then making sure that everyone's kind of storing everything away at the end of market correctly, so don't break.
Yeah, there's a lot of like safety management and things like that.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the market is like. But that's mostly just like cold, like making the cooler of juice and making sure like everything's getting used and
yeah, like stock rotation.
Yeah,
interesting. I'm gonna have to deal with that. So, some of the things that we're going to be dealing with, didn't touch on, like marketing, like if you're tweeting during the day or Facebook Living your market special event or something like that. We didn't talk about if you're a nonprofit, like dealing with your board, or getting buy-in from politicians who want to come to your market and do a photo op or something similar. But we cover a lot of the things you did talk about. And I think we'll just this exercise to kind of pull out for someone what they actually do, especially if they're new, so that what you need to feel confident and where your weaknesses are, so that you can kind of focus your energies on those areas. So I float the idea that there really isn't a typical day in the market. I think at the conference I said this, like every day is different. So because the market expands and contracts over the season year, what's selling every day is different as that changes. Vendors come and go. Some vendors are seasonal. Sometimes they get, their asparagus freezes or something similar, and they're not at the market that day. So that's always changing. And then there's always changing, and just there's a constant at the market except for you. So I really like to think of you all as like the eye of the storm. And what we're going to do today is help you identify like strengths and your leadership values so that you have that skeleton to work from and go from like changing issue to changing issue, but at least have those bad things to help you deal with each different situation. Each market is unique. You can't recreate it. You're definitely going to learn from the patterns. There are definitely patterns over the seasonal year. You have to do it a few years to see them sometimes, but they are there. So I want to really help you like really unpredictable, and those new experiences as they come to you, feel a little more confident. So you can always call on your cohort. So hopefully that all those tools together will help you feel a little confident if you don't feel confident. Okay, so looking at the job descriptions, Mary, those are the ones in your handout folder. I have two. One is a multi-page description of the role of market manager, and the other is in Princeton Farm Market from Princeton, New Jersey. They're posting for a farmer's market manager. So there are a lot of ways to break down the job of market manager. This is the way my brain thinks about it. Right? You have your seasonal responsibilities. So these are things that you do in the spring that you don't really have to do in the summer, that you don't really have to do in the fall. These from pre-season to during market season to shutting down your market in the winter, or some maintaining that small staggering market as it looks forward to spring. Right? You have these seasonal responsibilities. Break down those seasonal responsibilities to your day-to-day tasks and responsibilities. So what it actually look like day-to-day, right? So you can tell someone what to do every season, but what it actually breaks down to be doing every day. And I also want you to think about the audiences that you work with. You really work with 4 that I can identify. You have vendors, you have speaks in a specific customers who you're always trying to educate and market to. You have your board or your cohort staff, and then have your stakeholders. So this is like the community around your market and the community within your market. So there's like nonprofits who want to come table at your market, or your city council members who want to come use your market for instance, or the folk who wants to come educational events at your market. These are all the people who are in an market, but not necessarily a vendor at your market. So these are really different groups of people that you have to know how to speak to. And your fourth way to break down the job is just the basic qualities and skills that you need to be successful in the job, like any job. So really kind of need to understand all of these aspects to be successful in the position. Does that ring true?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. A little extra. So I'd for you individually to just do the New Jersey job description and compare it to the multi-page master job description. There's a lot not being said in the New Jersey job description. And if you just walked across this description Indeed site like I did, you'd be a little naive walking your first day at the market. So you both are a little bit experienced in your roles as market manager. What's missing in this New Jersey job description? And if you pay through the master job description, it'll kind of help you break it down a little bit. You know, services are going unsaid. I want you to help this this imaginary person start first day right. So I would love you to take a minute about it. The third bullet point is your real assignment. So give me 2 examples of the 4 types of analysis. So like, what are those groups that we were talking about before? So give me 2 examples of seasonal responsibilities for this New Jersey job, 2 of a day-to-day responsibility for this New Jersey job, 2 examples of audiences this person's going to have to deal with, and some like details about how they're going to deal with it. Like you'll see they mention like a newsletter, like that kind of thing. And quality and skill sets are actually broken out kind of in the back, but you'll see they're written up in a really easy way as required experience. There's unsaid, I think, in that too. What the hell do they think they're getting from someone who has a year of farming, sustainable farming, or 2 years of sustainable farming? We think their skills they're trying to pull out from that. Does that? I don't know. I did that and I was like, this person's like, they get $1 million a year apparently for all this stuff.
I feel like that's all jobs. Every job application I see, I'm like, who is this person with that experience? I don't need that much.
Take a few minutes and give me 2 examples of all of those. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Cool.
No thanks.
Your pleasure.
Okay. I'm trying myself off with sugar. I like it way too much.
Yeah. I already had a quick spark and a cookie, so I feel like we'll put the tombstone on the grave.
When I get stressed out, I bake, and then I just have a stupid amount of baked goods lying around. 2 examples of things missing each of the 4?
Yeah. Of unsaid. I have examples. Would that help you, Mary, too?
Sure.
Like, they say,
Jersey one. Yeah.
yeah, they proven website and newsletter experience.
Yeah.
So, like, audience point of view, an ability to engage customers with the written word, but it means being able to talk to the vendors to find crap to put in your news every week. Because we all that's impossible.
Yeah, it is.
And then I was thinking from a seasonal point of view, my management skills, like obtain that weekly newsletter during a busy market season. From a day point of view, it's like vendor info. You have to post it,
Yeah.
but taking photos, which is where I always fall down on the job.
Yeah.
And then finally, from a skills, it's like ability to communicate key to several types of customers. So just something that you think that that person in the news, and you don't have to do exactly two examples of every, but that person might do with if we spelled it out for them a little bit more. Because that description, really short job description for a really complicated job.
And for
So,
a part-time job, do you think they would have a
little bit more. Right. So we get a few more minutes to think about it. That time? Some impulse. You first?
Sure. I don't know if I necessarily piece it
Yeah.
You had to do exactly that.
Yeah. So the two parts of it that seemed like really the broad to me were an understanding of both the vendors and customers' needs.
Right.
That one, I'm learning the change every year in markets. Like we just lost a couple of really camp vendors to our market, and so right now am actively vendors to fill fruit gap that is at our market. Like, we don't have fruit at all. But, like, figure that out. In general, kind of keep an eye on the mix that you have at market, both looking for competition, I mean, vendors not being like too intense, having everything to get more customers to come so they can, you know, get more just tomatoes at your market or whatever. Right. Another thing I learned at Salem was doll assignments can be
oh God
the worst thing ever to deal with. And just keeping in mind a sense of fairness, I guess, first, and having to implement security and think about who to the market and seniority, but we're in like some new, but they having that the market doesn't have. That's bringing a lot to the market a lot.
Right.
And just looking out for the overall.
Right. Yeah.
In that way. And then the other part that's really big was interaction within the community, like familiarity with the area and interaction with the community.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. And also I'm dealing with right now, be involved with a lot of different parts of the community, and so as the new person, it's a lot to like dive into. Mm-hmm. So trying to get our West End market a little more into the community. I've been trying to like neighborhood meetings we can go to try and build like trust and relationships versus showing up and being like, hey, you should go to every week. Please be there.
Right. Yeah.
And interaction with the community could be, you know, writing a blog column. It could be going to meetings. It could be online Facebook or your website, or there's just a lot of different ways to do that. And all the different people that are made up of. Like, well, in Roanoke, I know about before. And like for the farm share, we're trying to work with like Carilion and the city as buying to our farm program as institution, all the way to like markets where it's the restaurants along Grandin Road that are next to the market. We want to talk about us too, and right, all that.
Yeah, it's a wide spectrum of the job. You're just sitting at the market, talking to customers. All right, Mary, what did you pull out?
Yeah, so the one that struck me the most was the familiarity with the Princeton area, since I'm not from North Carolina, and I'm assuming Princeton probably has a lot of transplants as well, and so market managers come into a community not necessarily having grown up there or, you know, having gone to church there their whole life or school there. So I think that is very broad because they're probably going to hire somebody who might fall into that category. So seasonally, being able to engage with the community, like today I did a cooking demo because it's off season and I could spend 4 hours at the senior center today. But if this was the summer, there's just no way. So trying to figure out what times of the year to build strategic relationships that are going to be more time consuming. In the summer, presentations at schools, because class is 45 minutes, I have 45 minutes, I'm in, I'm out, I can teach them about something and carry on my way. So trying to navigate who you want to build those relationships with and what time of the year might be the best time to do that. I think is a huge thing that, especially because we're going to build our outreach through churches in Durham, because sure already have trusted relationships. So if we can expand programming through going through somebody who somebody already trusts, that's going to help us leaps and bounds over me trying to go out, as much as I tend to do that. So I think you have to be familiar with your community in a lot of different ways that seasonally it doesn't really list there. And day-to-day, it's a lot of follow-up and relationship building and coffee dates and whatever it might be to make that happen. And then the support to us about for our audience is people who are underserved by the market, because the market, it really is, at the height of the season, is open 7 hours a week, 4 hours on Saturday, 3 on Wednesday. So, you have to acknowledge that even if people want to come, they might not be able to come because we don't have a storefront. We're not there 24/7. We're 7 weeks. So I think recognizing that is really going to help figure out how you might want to shape your interactions with the community and help figure out which partners. Like, we partner with our cooperative market, the co-op, a lot, and I promote that. So if people can't come to our market, they can go to co-op, which is a grocery store, and they sell all of the food from our farmers. So, you can get it, you just can't get it at the market if you don't happen to be available for 7 hours. So anyways, I think all those pieces go together. They're very unsaid here on that bullet point. Familiar with an area and what that means, and what your mission statement is, that will impact how you want to interact with your community. So.
Exactly. Yeah, I think it's just an incredible amount of different hats that a market manager wears, and every year you start to realize what you're missing or what you're really excelling at. I don't only mean to be negative. And of time management and of incredibly different tasks, and how can you get people to help you with all of those tasks, if possible. So I wanted you also to think about your own job responsibilities. Did this review, if it did any area of responsibility that maybe you hadn't really thought about much, or something like, oh yeah, maybe there's, I've been thinking of that during the month. I know for me it's always social media. I am the worst. Remembering to take photos of things during the act, so I think of remind myself during the events or whatever we're doing to both take it and then post it. I'm just never going to do it. So if this had jogged anything for you all.
I know, like a really long one, the in-depth one.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at this, it's easy to see how 40 hours a week could be like what I call all reactionary work, like all the day-to-day things that just time and you get bogged down. But then you, like on the first page, is all it says strategic planning for the market. So it's time to be proactive and think about the future goals and what you hope your mission statement will set out to be and what purpose you're really there to serve in the community. I always struggle. I've been trying to do a better job of it in the winter, but feeling like protected time where you turn off the market phone, turn off your email, because otherwise it's like you're bogged down by all these other things.
Yeah.
Most markets don't have executive directors, so you don't have somebody who's there whose job it is to think about hit your goals. So you kind of have to wear that hat too and make time for it, or it just doesn't happen.
Yeah, majority of the markets that I've worked with just don't have a strategic plan.
Yeah. We did.
And yeah, I know. And so modules, I did put like a further reading area. And it does have some strategic planning resources if you want to start thinking about at least what the hell that means, because a lot of us don't. So that's a good step one. I think that is an area that Farmers Market Association could help markets, like do more detailed training on that strategic planning, the step-by-step of it, because we're doing it as an organization, so why not share steps we took,
Yeah. I saw this things. I really hope we get it done before April hits. And, you know, life's
The
busy.
tsunami, yeah. Did you see anything? You?
I feel like I'm really lucky and I have amazing role models.
Yeah.
And they've already kind of brought a lot to my attention and had me start thinking about it. And I have to do some of this stuff. I don't have to worry about grants or funding. And I'm aware of it, I feel like, but I have yet to experience it.
Yeah. It is nice. And I always, because I don't really like the grants or anything either, but I try to remember what the grant writers, you know, like what stories can I capture or quotes or things like that that really your application. And sometimes just having a 5-minute conversation with your grant writer, like, oh, that is easy to capture, you know, like the 6 stories or something like that. Because that's when you get that email from your grant writer being like, do you have anything? And you're like, I hadn't been thinking about remembering that. All right. So switching gears and topics, to managers as leaders. So I was wondering if you all thought of yourself as a leader in your role as a market manager.
Yeah, yes. We're nothing without our team, and I definitely would go crazy without them. So it's nice to all work together towards something.
Yeah, that's a really way to put it, yeah. I think it's a unique role. You're kind of like quarterbacking this crazy team where people subbing in and out all the time. So you're just saying the same thing a lot over and over to just varying places, you know, like different vendors coming out, different customers coming in and out. And so I think honing that skill is just a major part of leadership role, but also means that you're kind of, the only word I can think of is the arc, like the thing that's keeping everything, like keeping that vision together, you know. So as those people are coming in and out, you're the one holding the ship together.
Yeah.
Us to think of as a group some leadership values and discuss what leadership values give leaders. So it really emanates from that core set of values and reset, like I was saying earlier, allow you to choose your course while being flexible is really what you need to do. I think that people will want to work with you if you eliminate those consistent values. It's kind of like I was saying, that bone skill set you can adapt to different situations because you're always dealing with different situations every day. Just to kind of brainstorm some things, but I also wanted to point out that credibility as a leader is really fragile, right? And especially when you're working with communities like you were both mentioning. Takes years to earn and seconds to lose. So I want to think about how persistent, consistent demonstration of your values show that you're worthy of your role. And this is something I think is so unique to the position of market manager. You're highly aware that you're there and you're paid no matter what they have as a business. And they run if they think that you're getting paid 30 a week or however many hours a week and not they require their small business off the ground. And I like to think about how farmers markets are the epitome of that idea of the commons. So I love this idea, like back in the day before civilization really took hold, we had this thing called commons, which was the shared green space that everybody used to like put their sheep on or whatever they were doing, right? And capitalism came around. and devolution happened, and all that started to kind of be individualized out. And it was my field, and I had a fence, and you had a fence. Think about the one, right? Like lighting, it was like raillands. Like they were like fighting over the fact that. Anyway, okay, I'm a history nerd. Sorry. But the farm market is very similar. It is a lot of shared resources shared by many small individual markets. And if those small individual businesses aren't doing well, that isn't actually serving what needs to be serving. And those vendors will come back and haunt you. So I just think it's really unique and not a lot of things will prep you for that. I'm going to be working in a system or something similar where it's like this shared resource where that we have to have a respectful sense of rules. We're not like trampling the hell out of our commons. Is the one parallel I can think of. But does it see you all? It's the idea of demonstrating your values worthy of your role is something I needed to think about when I was a market manager. Speaks to me. So vendors had been coming to that market for 20 years, and they saw a different market manager every year. And so why listen to the 24-year-old when we another 24-year-old in the next market season? I'm not 24-year-old anymore, so that's sad. I think it's something to think about. And it kind of highlights the importance of knowing who you are as a leader. So I'm going to pull some out of you, and I'm going to write them on the whiteboard. I think you're going to be able to see it. I think. I can't. So I just want you to think about some leaders that you both admire. You know, who they stand for. It's going to popcorn out to me the values. I was thinking about this is like if you could wave a wand and instill in a leader, I'll rename nameless, some values that you wanted to see emanating from them, what would they be? Thing that I've been told to not gather in this exercise is the word integrity, because that simply means you're leading from your values. So that one, it won't count. Okay. So what are some things that when you see in a leader, you're like, ooh, that's leadership value?
Say honesty or?
Honesty?
Yeah. Honestly, following through on what you say.
I start one sometimes. I tell people, send me an email. It'll happen. Send me an email next. Your limitations.
I don't know the word for it, but like vendor relations, somebody just takes the time to have a conversation and show that you have some knowledge of what they're doing and how it can be really difficult and how rewarding it can be, and just like sharing some mutual,
like an empathy,
maybe
like a bedside manner, right? Yeah. I'm gonna put empathy.
Being a good listener.
Yeah. Not there to make their fee and that they can't.
Right. Huge touch.
Somebody who's inclusive and open, because then anytime you work with any group of people, you kind of have to come in with that, and a good leader welcomes diversity and sees a learning opportunity and a way to grow.
Right. I'm the humor. Maybe you heard my laugh.
Sarcastic.
That is so important.
fairness is kind of a little word, but I think
Yeah,
it's really
I know.
important.
Especially
Yeah.
here.
I mean, like fairness, like steadfastness, like they trust, you know, that you're not going to favorite anybody, that you're there to serve.
There's, yeah, the reason behind what you're enforcing.
Yeah. Yeah. Just. Humility.
Mm.
Our voting board president always feels, no matter how busy he is, he will sit down, look you in the eye, and have a conversation. And sure, it's not for you, he has 2 minutes, but it's that act of giving you the time of day and really trying to listen, making you feel like your point of view will be heard, even if it will be acted on or it's totally out there, it will still be heard.
Yeah.
Yeah, like giving.
I love Marina because she is upfront about how she's here to support me and
Right.
like being there for like innovative, like trying to figure out new ways of going about things and
Create.
yeah.
Brave. Like sometimes you have to say that or do the hard thing, you know.
There's the one that I feel like as a person I struggle with.
Yeah.
Being confident at least.
That's true.
Straggler ideas. I think that's a good list. We can add to it. Mary?
Yes, yeah, I wrote them down too as we were going. So
That's good.
hopefully.
We kind of menu, it's not all inclusive, but it's somewhere to start. And I'd like for you to then think about yourself. So, what do you stand for as a leader and in your role? And also, what do you want others to experience through leadership? What do you want to be appreciated for the generation that's coming, that you're leading, right? So, I'll pick 7 to 10 traits and have some Post-its in front of you or a piece of paper. Yeah. I just want you to pick 7 to 10 of traits that you want to emanate in your coming year in your role. It may not be up there exactly, so think about what's important to you.
Should I put one on each?
Yeah, one on each. Go have a lot of hard. It always takes a while. Do we have at least 7? Free to choose 5 of your 7. Sorry. Okay. More up. You're on 4. Did that hurt? That hurt people. Okay, do it one more time. 3. Okay. So these 3 are the ones you've chosen to eliminate in your leadership role in 2018. So I'd like for you to share with us. But I think before you share, I want you to think of how you maintain this. So when I make a resolution, I always screw it up because I don't think about how I'm with myself to remind myself, like, Meredith, you'd be bilingual by 2019. So a lot of people do it a lot of different ways. Like they'll put it on the cover of their calendar, their paper calendar, or they'll put it on the wallpaper of their phone, or to post on your mirror. Like trying about a way that you'll think will help maintain them, bring them throughout the year. So, maintenance plan. Go ahead, Mary. Why don't you start and share your 3 values and then how you're thinking you're going to remember them.
Yeah, so it was really hard to narrow them down. The 3 I picked that I hope I'm able to do through this job, I put empathy, fit, and dependability. We work with a diverse population in Durham, and Durham is changing rapidly. But I think in order to serve my community in the best way and also serve the market and the market's mission in the best way, that those 2 values would be very hard in this, in the summer or the thick of things when life is full and that to-do list seems never ending and you're tired because it's hot and all those things. The one place that I usually put things like this is always my kitchen. So sometimes I write things on a list because no matter how stressed out I am, I love cooking and I love food. So I have to write things like that on the wall by where I chop all my veggies because vegetables is very therapeutic and calming because you just chop them into even pieces, you eat them, you're done. I can put that in the kitchen, a spot where I will always see it, and it will always connect me to the farmer's market because everything I eat comes farmer's market, that will be a good reminder. And my husband and all the friends who come through the house always see that piece of paper, ask me about it, and then I can kind of check it. Okay, did I do this week, or do I hope to do differently next week? And recognize that each week is different, and some weeks will be good, and some will be
suck.
You can keep trying to work toward it and not forget about it. So
right, yeah. I always like to tell people there is a slide back as one of the steps of behavior change. You're allowed to slide back. Don't worry.
Try to go back forward. Don't
yeah.
Like that. Right?
All right. Good job. I like that. What for us?
Well, I decided I wanted to find for empathy was warmth.
Okay.
Two of mine are related to me being an extreme introvert. And so I have warmth and confidence. And I think learned so far at least is the importance of relationship building in the community and relationships with partners and but also like everybody in the community. In order its success needs to be connected, and in order to do that, you just have to have the ability to like warm the room.
Yeah.
I don't know how to do that yet. And eventually,
yeah.
But it takes me a long time. My Midwestern root for that. And confidence is, I have such great role models at LEAP. And able to talk about our nonprofit in a way that gives it justice, also helps our mission and build that we're trying to build. And with steadfastness, which is related to feeling confident, but getting informed about goals for food safety and SNAP and knowing why things are the way they are. So you when something arises.
Which it will.
Yes.
And do you have a good plan?
Runs of Google Calendars now, so I might put something in there and review my employee review at LEAP. Actually, is going to be a lot about how it's for me to talk about LEAP and be in front of people, and that's a big part of what we do and how we're successful. And so, you have to have a check-in with Marine. Let's get Marine.
Yeah. What do you want you to noodle on tonight when you're in bed is think about that job description that we just unpacked and try and see if there's anything that might challenge your leadership values that you just chose in the coming year as you do that job. And because if you can force it, you might be able to avoid it or deal with it a little bit better. Move ahead to unending group behavior. So unit manager are the leader of many different types of groups, like I was saying, and sometimes understanding the basics of how groups work together can be helpful. This is what social worky on you all. Group development is generally broken into 4 stages, starting in the top right, a goal in forming, then goes to storming, norming, and performing. And then they have it on here, but the last step is adjourning. Because soldiers like to rhyme. So, forming is when you're as you're first meeting each other, really you're still being pleased. You're telling each other your deepest, darkest secrets, you're being impersonal. You're watching each other to see where your boundaries are, and you're protecting yourself still, because there's that trust build up. And your actions might be a little tentative with each other. And then you age is really where you figure out where the power lies in that group. So that's the storming stage. And that can require confrontation, and it might be just some passive-aggressive Southern confrontation, but it's definitely going to be some confrontation in there. And people usually either choose to get into the conflict or opt out. So it's up to your personality type, but conflict is still in the group. You will have difficulties, and your group will feel stuck. You're like, dude, why can't we just move beyond this? But a normal stage of the group trying to figure out where each other's boundaries are, who's power most often, and what the relationships are between the members of the group. Once it's all kind of settled out, usually we'll move to norming, and that's just the unspoken social rules of the group, right? A norm. Move towards actually achieving what the group came together to do. This is where you establish procedures for the group. So you're establishing who does what generally, how the group works, what it will accept from its members. You're both giving and getting feedback from your fellow group members, but you're coping with them. They're not just making you feel stuck. You have a method to move forward. Develop skills as a group. So now you're less focused on, am I going to be stronger than Mary in this group? You're now focused on what Mary and I work on together to do in this group. You're developing skills as a group. Who has strengths in what areas? And then finally, the 4th step is performing. So this in the group is really coming along. You're flexible as a group. You've got some resources. You're open and effective in your communication. You can be honest with each other. It's not always rosy, but it's taken well because you trust each other. And you generally walk away feeling supported and satisfied. So those are the normal 4 stages of the group. There's a handout on groups, this one. It's called Stages of Group Growth. And it's a little of a different way to think about it. And I really like it because it's getting people to market all the different groups you think of to go from I, which is their personal need. Why did they show up that day? Was it to make $1 million selling potatoes, or was it to buy the most delicious local potatoes, or was the market? To we, which is the group needs, which is just having a stellar market. And really get people to focus on tasks. So it's these 3 different things that you need to balance, and where the end of the group lies the most as it moves through these stages. So it's a phase 1, which was forming, right? So that is, again, your really high focus. So you'll see that I column is the largest, and we and it, so the group health and then the tasks that you came together to do are focused on less. You're really trying to figure out where you are within the group. This is organizing to get the work done. And there is that conflict as you do figure out who is doing what. So I becomes a little bit smaller, and the we know where power lies, where the relationship relationships are, that's being touched around and figured out, so that bar gets a little wider. In the stage, the groups are being set up, community's starting to really zing along, right? So we is feeling really strong. You really now identify as a group. You identify as a happy member of the Durham market. You identify as a happy member of the West End. And so it's like strong with this one. And the fourth thing is once you know where you are in the group, once you know where the we in the group is, where it's going, who the power lies with, you can actually focus on the task. And all three bars are generally equal as you start to move forward into working on the task of the group. Sense to you all? So I'd like for you to think about, as a market manager, people in your market to go from I, which I think a lot of vendors and customers walk in thinking, to the we, at least to the we of the market. I want you to think about where in your market you need the most, market need the most in this area. No, excuse me, you see that because Mary blocking the word help. So be with vendors, right? You might have a lot of vendor conflict, especially if it's, I don't know, some markets do and some markets don't. Oftentimes it's with the board. The board wants the market to do one thing and the market actually wants to do something else. With stakeholders in the market, if your market's really strong and you have a good vendor base, you have a good board, actually it might often be the conflict is with where market fits in best with its community and with its stakeholders. Or their customers might not love the direction your market is heading in, or want to change and I don't know, sell crafts, sell more crafts, who the hell knows it. So this is a lot of different fronts for you to be thinking about when groups within your market. And I just wanted to point out that conflict is a normal stage. So you want to think on this when you're having some conflict and be like, is this weird conflict, or are we just actually coming together as a group to kind of figure out where the So I'll give you some thoughts about how to help people move the next stage, progress out of the forming stage, to help members relinquish the comfort of polite topics, used to the possibility of conflict and that it's not going to end your world. Progress from storming, which is the second stage. Members mud of that like testing and proving mentality, so you got to get them to move out of that like search mentality and into a problem solving mentality. So they really need to start listening to each other as opposed to being like, listen, let me tell you, I'm the leader kind of thing. It was norming, so members in this stage are cohesive. They really like to share data with each other freely. They might get stuck in this stage because it's good. It's coming out of storming. So this change of any sort. So if your vendors are like, who the hell are these two new vendors? You know, it might be that they're a little bit stuck in that norming stage. So when a member comes into the group, it really throws things out of whack for them in that stage. And final stage is performing. Not every group reach this stage, but it's a really good goal for you to get there. When you are there, you'll know it because your members can work independently or also work in subgroups or as a whole. The roles adjust to changing group needs, so there might be multiple leaders. And the need for group approval is past. You trust your group members. You know that they love you either way. So those members are self-assured. They are your market. Know what anyone else does. All right. Right?
I might
to do that potty break at some point. So tool is also a good idea for just the coming year. If you wanted to just popcorn out ideas with your speakers of ideas for the market, it can kind of help you prioritize what you want to work on first, and then maybe what you want to start thinking about planning for the next year, and get the ball rolling. All right. Anyone on strategic planning? Has anyone gone through a strategic planning session? Yes.
We had their 3-year board strategic planning, and they employees to be there as well, so I got to experience that.
It's just like a rock sock'em robots. You know, like do it out to see whose idea wins. But, they are really helpful. So I should do one. Okay. We are wrapping up. Look, I am on time. I'm nuts.
Let's even with me being late and taking forever on the phone.
So this is something I've done with people at the start of the group. Like I used to work with kids after school, and they were like a social service group. They wanted to make change in their community, and I was like, they figured out what exactly they wanted to work on. So I was like, why don't you with the end in mind, right? That's from the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, that book, if you've ever read it. So where do you want to end up? And backwards from there to help you kind of figure out the steps to get there. So the idea was to have you write a newspaper story about your market at the end of the 2018 market year. So 5 minutes. The title. This is 2-3 sentences about something happened at your market over the coming year that used to catch the eye of the reporter that you would crow out in your local community. All kinds of takes on this, so there's no right or wrong way to answer this. Really just to help you be like, what do I want to be most proud of at the end of the year for my market? For some SNAP program, for another person it was youth program at their market, so it could be anything. You know, you have a market with fruit, you know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, just take a few minutes to do that. My focus on as you look out over the possibility of the coming market year, what areas do you want to focus on? So what are you known for a year from now in your market?
Realistically.
Flying unicorns are one option.
All that participants come to work
Every day.
every single person.
These are from other views. I think so. See if they would give it to me or not. Do you guys?
Yeah, I think
Pretty good.
the newspaper about yourself. It's like free PR, I guess. So.
I can read you one from your cohort. I thought this was a good one. Just so you didn't get to hear anybody else's, so for you. Hampton Boulevard Farmers Market wraps up a successful first season. On Wednesday afternoon, April through September, you'll find the parking lot of Norfolk's Good Shepherd filled with local farmers, our food producers, and busy selling their goods to a loyal clientele. We spoke to Joe Customer, president of the Neighborhood Civic League, who told that HBFM has become a Wednesday afternoon ritual for those who live and work nearby. The mayor of the markets they have a waiting list of potential vendors for the 2019 season. They also shared with us that they plan to add live music and snacks to next year's offering. That was cute. I have a bunch of them, but I won't sit here and make it. Do you want to share yours? And they don't have to be fabulous, really. I gave you like 4 minutes. You want to go first?
So one of our sayings in Durham, Durham's changed a lot, but the slogan is "Keep it dirty, Durham." So CFM keeps it dirty, Durham as our headline, because that would the folks would identify with that. So I'm in definitely more of a list of things, but I'm gonna go for it. So maybe there was a catchy intro, and now we're just diving into the meat of it. So I put the Durham Farmers Market planned a variety of community events this season. Remember chicken coop bingo. Hopefully you arrived early enough to taste samples at the cornbread and collard event or yoga with Jessamine and Stanley. The market involved faith communities in Durham and had musical and dance performances from local groups. Durham Farmers Market expanded food access to all members of our community and expanded the SNAP Double Bucks program to WIC recipients and community members who needed extra assistance with purchasing fresh fruits and vegetables for their family. Durham Farmers Market remains a community destination every Saturday morning and Wednesday afternoon, where you can engage in dialogue with your neighbors, attend a family-friendly event on the lawn, and spend time outdoors. This is the soul of our city and unites community around local food grown on our neighbors' farms. We're really events this year. Events are our big thing to engage people who are getting pushed out of downtown and bring everybody back, because it really is one of the only free events you can go to every weekend or every Wednesday afternoon. So
right.
Focus for us this year.
Awesome. So now I have to do it.
It's pretty fun. I don't mind doing it.
Okay. Are you ready?
Yeah, sure. I mind local food for all, and then focus on local market. The local market established in 2016 delivers fresh local produce to 11 neighborhood stops throughout Roanoke. More than we're doing right now, so I want to add one. The vehicle of local food. The mobile market has delivered farm shares to Carilion Hospital and city employees, goods without markets, and doubled the purchasing power of SNAP Medicaid participants. From 2019, the number of, I didn't know what a realistic increase in like SNAP participants would be.
Yeah.
But
let's say 30%.
As I got. Basically, I want more commitment with the mobile market here to be my goal.
Okay. Cool. Awesome. Very nice. Well, I think that's everything there. So, do you all have any questions on how the course will proceed or anything like that? Comfortable with the WebEx, the Google folders, and
Was I to be able to see the earlier test?
You should, I sent out a reminder email that probably had the link in it. Did you get that?
Okay, yeah, I didn't click on it, but I think it sent it out after. It sent something that...
I done it and then it asked me to create an account. And then
Okay.
I created an account and then I couldn't see anything.
Sometimes you have to use a different, what's this thing called? It uses Explorer and it uses Firefox.
Oh, yeah.
Real? And it uses
Chrome?
Yeah.
That's what I use. All right.
Yeah. So I would open it in
Okay.
Controlled Explorer. Yeah. That's the issue for some people. Cool. Well, other than that, I think we're good. Any other questions?
So it's Fridays, and if for some reason something comes up, we can watch the recording, but we anticipate being there.
Yeah. And then, yeah, that's all. Pretty simple. You're going to love it. All right. Well, thank you both for taking the time. Being guinea pigs. And I'll catch you next Friday, I guess.
Yeah. In a week.
Bye.